All right,
Welcome,
bro.
welcome, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I am live with Patrick J. Today we are doing a deep dive into the AFC West. We're going to be talking about the Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and the Raiders. And we're also going to be talking about recent rumors, trade talks, free agency. And guys, of course, we're going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles because we got a lot to get into. And one of those things that we're going to get into is Patrick, I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take a quarterback at pick 6. I really do. I really do. I don't think, like, just as the days go by, dude. And well, first off, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Sorry I missed a beautiful, beautiful rendition of this episode that you did yesterday. I really enjoyed watching that. So well done.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
told the guys that you were probably gonna watch it, and
Yeah, I watched it. I couldn't comment on it because I had to watch it a little bit later in the day. But yeah, that was cool. Like good dialogue that you had going. But yeah, controversial thing that you brought up. But yeah, I got this weird gut feeling, dude. There's a QB going at 6, dude. I have a feeling, dude, when Roger walks up there with a number 6 overall pick, it's gonna be a QB right there, dude.
well, Roger's probably going to be sitting in the comfort of his home, or standing in the comfort of his home, probably, but in that nice, whatever it is, multi-million-dollar home that he has, fucking Roger Goodell. but yeah, no, I feel you, and it's crazy. It's crazy because I do like Jalen, and yeah, like you said, like you were listening to it yesterday, and like Jalen's done a lot of things to kind of earn the ability to start, at least for a season, but I just don't think that they're gonna go that way. Hey, Big Play Slay, welcome to the chat today, brother. Jalen hurts me. Welcome, my man. Yeah, sorry that we're a little late today. We both just got off work, but better late than never, brother. Better late than never. So look, probably going to be a quarterback at pick 6. That's the way that my gut is going. That's the way that your gut is going. It sounds like, Patrick. Do you think that they would go Trey Lance at 6?
I think at the end of the day, I think they go like with whatever the board gives them, But it's just, dude, it's like one of those gut feeling. Something tells me, like you said, as the day go by, I just have to agree with you. Like there's something about the way everything's going. Just I think the QB's calling the Eagles, man. And here's the thing. Yeah, if Lance is there, I think they go with Lance. But if for some reason if the Jets decide to go with Lance over at 2 or Fields at 2 and the Wilson's available, I think Eagles would be really happy to take Zach Wilson too. But yeah, just a weird gut feeling. I think QB's coming at 6. So
okay, yeah, no, and just to touch on that as well. Oh, Big Play Today says, "Yo, what's up, DB? Oh hell yeah, fuck yeah, he's back."
Hey, my guy, I missed you yesterday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Slay. I missed you yesterday on all your kind trolling, and I appreciated that.
Yeah, well, let's talk about this. I still want to see more from Trey Lance. He is growing on me day to day. You know what I mean? I do still want to see more from him. The thought of, and it's kind of, I touched on this yesterday, and there is kind of like this unknown thing that bothers me, and it's a certain thing for certain things. One of them, one of the certain things for players like Jamar Chase is obviously like the 6'1", 208. Doesn't really reek of a dynamo type of measurable, right? That's one of those things. One of the things for Devontae Smith is the size, right? That scares me off a little bit. One of those things for Trey Lance is the small school, not that many starts sort of thing. And so it's just one of those things that scares me off a little bit. How is he going to do against tougher competition, and things of that nature. Like, we don't know if Carson Wentz was the exception, and I do believe that Carson Wentz is the exception. I do believe that Carson Wentz is obviously still going to be a good quarterback. You know this. You know how I feel about this. I was asked to list my top 5 quarterbacks in 3 years yesterday when Brady and Rodgers and Ben retire.
Yeah, I did see that.
And
Surprised you picked Carson. I'd be honest with you.
yeah, I can't not throw Carson in there because you know, I don't know who else would I can't imagine a list without him, just because I really do have strong faith in what he's going to be able to do with Frank Reich. But yeah, going back to Trey Lance, it is one of those things that he does possess one of those things that do make me worry. So in my best case scenario, bro, like Zach Wilson falling to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 6 is a no-brainer for me, honestly. Tell me how you feel about Trey Lance, and you know, am I feeling faulty? Are my feelings justified? What's your thoughts?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always liked Trey Lance, and I think he's shot up the boards for a lot of people. You know, I think he's he justifies that top 10 pick. And I don't know who it was yesterday. Someone said that Trey Lance is going to be a Pro Bowl quarterback at some point in his career, and I totally agree with that. You know, he has a lot of things going for him. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. He's got a ton of upside. He's a great athlete, and you guys are familiar with the North Dakota State quarterback coming in with a tremendous, you know, powerful arm and skill set. So he's similar, yet a little bit different. He possesses different skill sets. You know, like he's really accurate. He's really calm. And like I said, he's mobile and he can use his feet to buy time. But at the same time, he has a really powerful arm that can throw into tight windows. He doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses. He's really raw and he lacks experience, and he played in a smaller conference, you know. But I mean, you guys all saw Carson Wentz coming in, what he was able to do, and then take the league by storm too. This is no knock on Jalen Hurts at all. It's just something that you and I have kind of talked about, you know, like it's no knock to Jalen Hurts. It's no, I'm not, you know, like crowning Trey Lance as the next Pro Bowl quarterback here. It's just a weird gut feeling that you and I both have, that, and I'm sure it's not just gut feeling. I'm sure it's like just by actions and lack of actions that Eagles are taking, that maybe there is a possibility, there's a strong chance that they're going quarterback at 6. Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Hey, Toxic Falcons, welcome, man. Welcome. Happy Wednesday today, brother. Happy Wednesday today, because today is Wednesday. Yeah, Dak is King. Welcome to the channel, my man. Big Play Slay, you doing good, brother? Yeah, what do you guys think? Patrick and I are starting to edge towards the feeling of, as we're talking about, that the Eagles are going to go quarterback at pick 6. How do you guys feel about that? I'm sure you guys might be enraged by the thought, but just their lack of moves towards the quarterback position, you know, Howie Roseman's and Nick Sirianni's, you know, inability to commit to Jalen Hurts. You know, it's been non-committal, and it is something to worth questioning about. But let's go ahead and move on for now. So let's go ahead and talk about the fact that Steven Nelson, cornerback Steven Nelson, is reportedly visiting the Cardinals. Patrick,
Yup.
How do you feel about that? And speaking of the Cardinals, once we talk about that, you can just go ahead and transition into Mr. J.C. Horn, who had a phenomenal pro day, who you like the Cardinals taking at pick 16, if he's still on the board, because he's obviously rising up draft boards.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, we'll start with Steven Nelson. I mean, he hasn't been, like, obviously he hasn't gone to Pro Bowl or anything like that, but he's been a very serviceable cornerback, and he's more of a cornerback too at this point. But he's got a lot of strengths. You know, he's got a lot of ball skills. He's good at preventing separations. He can run routes with receivers. He's got good agility. For a team like the Cardinals, who have no cornerbacks on their roster, they have Robert Alford, who used to play for the Falcons. If Toxic Falcons is still here, I'm sure you're familiar. he signed with the Cardinals 2 years ago, and then both years he went out with season-ending injuries, so he hasn't stepped on the field once with them. So they got him on the outside, and they have cornerback Byron Murphy, who's more slotted for a slot cornerback. So that's it. So they really need to have two starting cornerbacks in tow. They missed their opportunity with a couple guys in the free agent market just because they probably allocated most of their money to J.J. Watt, Rodney Hudson from the Raiders, and also A.J. Green from the Bengals. So Steven Nelson visiting with the Cardinals makes total sense. And transitioning into that, I think J.C. Horn. I mean, if you guys saw his pro day, it's insane the amount of attention that this guy's going to get after that. He's built different for sure. I'm sure you guys all know he's a son of quarterback Joe Horn. And he clocks in. I mean, he comes in at 6'1", 205, so he's got a good size. He's a natural football player. It's in his family. It's in his genes. He's a really tough physical defender. He's really good in coverage. He's instinctive. He's really versatile. He tracks the ball really well in the air. And then if you really watch the tapes, you can really see that he's got a lot of ball skills, and he's got skills to like slap the passes away if he's not going to take the ball away. So the one thing that was concerning with him was his speed, but he fared really well in his pro day, and he's got a lot of explosion for a guy his size too. So he was projected to go in the mid to late first, but I feel like he's shooting up a lot of teams' boards too. But one thing to note is that Caleb Farley is bona fide. Most people think that he's the best cornerback in the draft, but Patrick Surtain also had, showed pretty. I don't think he participated in his pro day, but he showed up really well as far as his like size and his body is concerned, as far as adding muscle and weight is concerned too. So these two guys, I mean, I feel like three cornerbacks in the top 15, top 16 is going to be not far out of the realm either, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And he's a true. I mean, I feel like he's gonna project to be a true number one corner for sure. So whichever team does get him is gonna be pretty set. Pretty set with that with having him on their team for sure. But just real quick, let's go ahead and jump to this. Toxic Falcons. I heard y'all are trying to trade with Bears to get Nick Foles. No, there was a report that did come out. We kind of talked about this yesterday. The Bears were trying to see what they could drum up, but the report was that not to be surprised if the Eagles were to try, due to the fact that those reports came out when the Bears were trying to trade for Carson Wentz as a part of Nick Foles being a part of that trade deal. But he is worth $6.6 million, and that just wouldn't be worth it. I mean, he would be cheap. It would be a 6th, 7th round pick. But I just don't really see that happening, especially now after the signing of Joe Flacco. So King Miro, what's up, my man? How's it going, dude? Happy Wednesday. Jalen Hurts Me says, I feel like Horn will go way before us at 2nd round, but I hope we can get him. Patrick, do you want to? I don't think he's I don't think he's gonna last until the 2nd round.
No, especially after the pro day that he's at, he's gonna be gone long before first half of the draft. So if the Eagles truly want him, I mean, an option is to trade back from 6 and then gain another 1st round pick or something like that, or maybe they can use their bunch of assets they have. If he does last until the 20s, they can move back up. But yeah, he's not gonna last till the 2nd round.
Right. Exactly. Dak is king. Toxic Falcon says Dax is king. We don't need a tight end. I want a defensive player. Well, after we trade Zach Ertz, we will probably need a tight end.
I think he's talking about the Falcons, because I think Dak said that they're gonna pick Pitts at 4. I think that's what he said.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
Who are you thinking for a defensive player? I mean, are you thinking one of the cornerbacks, or are you thinking like Micah Parsons, or are you thinking one of the edges? Like, let me know. Who are you looking for? Because I think as far as like what we've been talking about, we've had, to be honest with you, either quarterback or Kyle Pitts as the only option for Falcons so far. So yeah, I'm curious to see from your point of view who you're thinking.
Yeah. Also, other free agent rumors as well. Patrick, you're sorry, I got to do this to you, buddy. Your lowly Jets are rumored to bring in Mr. running back James Conner or are rumored to have a visit with James Conner. What
Yeah,
does that do to the butterflies that reside deep inside your body? And also, you guys just signed former Philadelphia Eagle Vinny Curry, and
yeah,
talk a little bit about that. I have high regard for Vinny Curry. I think he's still a phenomenal role player.
yeah.
Can still do a phenomenal job. Talk about it a little bit, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna start with that running back situation. I mean, like, I know there was like some reports that he is coming to visit with the Jets, but the Jets actually are finalizing a deal with former 49ers running back Tevin Coleman, who obviously has worked with Robert Saleh before, who's worked with their offensive coordinator Mike LaFleur before too. So I don't know what this means. This probably could mean that the door to James Conner might be closing, just because they do already have some depth in the running back room, but they're already bringing Tevin Coleman. So who knows? I highly doubt that they're going to add 2 running backs. So maybe it's just a formality. But I mean, it'll be exciting to have Conner on board. But I mean, I'm excited to see what Tevin Coleman can do. He did show some potential when he was with the Niners, but obviously he couldn't stay on the field. So him coming back with this familiar situation with the familiar coaches, I'm sure will help the Jets. As far as Vinny Curry's concerned, I agree with you. I mean, I wasn't very optimistic about the signing. I thought he's kind of washed, but you convinced me. I think he still has something left in his tank, and for just 1 year at $1.3 million, just $1 million guaranteed, I think it's a very low risk signing. And if he has anything left in the tank, that's going to just help us out. So I'm excited for that deal too.
For sure, for sure. No, I mean, I like him. I like Vinny Curry to the Jets. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. I mean, bringing in Carl Lawson, kind of everything that they did. I hope that it pans out with some of these moves that they've made, because on paper, the moves that they have made do look pretty decent, man. I gotta answer this question. I gotta answer this question here.
I know which one. Yeah, go for it.
Falcon says, "You're gonna get me ranting and raving, bro." And everybody in this chat, I think, has seen me rant and rave at one point on this topic. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I might be a little too tired today to do it, but we'll see how this goes. Toxic Falcons says, "Can I ask a question? Why did the Eagles fans turn their back on Carson Wentz?" Well, let me say this, bro. The majority of us didn't. And I know that's going to sound like a shock. The majority of us did not. Here's the thing. If you're not a Philadelphia Eagles fan, it's hard to understand the psychology of Philadelphia Eagles fans. If you're not a Philadelphia Eagles fan and you're an outsider and you overhear us being pissed off at a player like the demise of Donovan McNabb or the demise of Carson Wentz or the demise of fucking Nelson Aguilar, it's going to seem like we just absolutely fucking hate that player. The truth of the matter is Carson Wentz sucked this past year. He did. I'll say it over and over again. Apparently I have to say it over and over again until I do continuously turn blue in the fucking face. I defended Carson Wentz till I was blue in the face and my eyes turned red. But I was upset with the way that he performed. I loved Carson Wentz. I still love Carson Wentz. I'm still upset with the fact that we traded Carson Wentz, but he should have played. He should have played better, I think. And I think it's this, honestly, to answer your question, Toxic Falcons. We saw what Carson Wentz did in 2016. We saw what Carson Wentz did in 2017. Carson Wentz was the quarterback that we had been searching for so long. We knew what he was capable of. And when he finally had a down year, and not just a down year that's kind of downplaying his down year, it was the down year of all down years. We were fucking enraged because we knew how good he could be. Now there is some that were crazy and wanted Nick Foles back, which I get. Nick Foles won the Super Bowl, but let's be honest, it was Carson Wentz's season, and it should have been Carson Wentz's Super Bowl, and Carson Wentz did exactly what Nick Foles did in that playoff run all season long. But there were some that wanted to get rid of Carson Wentz from week from week 3 and made absolutely no logical sense whatsoever. But the majority of us, when it came down to the wee hours before Carson Wentz was traded, did not want to get rid of Carson Wentz. And so a few days after Carson Wentz was traded, when I heard Sal Palantonio talk about how Philadelphia Eagles fans wanted to get rid of Carson Wentz and were already done with Carson Wentz, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like it literally shocked my brain, because like it was like the 6th or 7th or maybe even 10th or 11th thing that I heard Sal and Palantonio like talk about this past season, where he just didn't make sense. And I usually hadn't had that thought process about Sal Palantonio before, but I did this season, and it drove me up a fucking wall. It almost drove me up a wall, just as well as Max Kellerman drives me up a wall, but not as much so. So to answer your question, Toxic Falcons, no, I think the majority of the fan base is heartbroken. But you know, Philadelphia Eagles fans are so diehard fans that we're going to support whoever is going to be back there. So it's not a matter of us turning our back on Carson Wentz. It's just that we're the city of brotherly love. And so we're going to support Jalen Hurts, or we're going to support whoever they decide to start in 2021. Moving on.
Yeah, a lot of good comments on over there too. So I think a lot of people are agreeing that, you know, everybody not, you know, it seems like most people are just saying that they, you know, they also didn't turn their back on Carson, but you know, I agree with what Jalen Hurts said too. I think at some point, I think he also wanted a change of scenery. So I think it was a natural progression, but I don't think this is coming from outsider. I don't think Eagles fans that necessarily abandoned him. And I think a lot of the outsiders like us, you know, like I'm sure that's why he's asking that question too. I think we were all rooting for Carson Wentz to come back as an Eagles quarterback too. So
yeah, I'll go back to this too, just to top that off again, is I think we all wanted Carson Wentz to do what he did in 2019, and kind of have that Cinderella ending to 2020 where he did catch fire, and it just put a cap on the dysfunctional vibe that was the 2020 season. That moment was stolen from him. It was stolen from us as fans. We got to see a little bit of Jalen Hurts, so there was a little bit of, you know, there was a little bit of sugarcoating, but you know, it left a bitter taste in our mouths. But here you got another one for me, Toxic Falcons, and I like this one too, is and one more. Do you believe if you all would have kept Andy Reid, do you believe you all would have won a Super Bowl with him? I mean, now that one's tough. That one's tough. You want to know why that one's tough? Because I really don't know. I think Andy needed a change of scenery. I think Andy needed a change of scenery.
Yeah, and that's hard to say. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to jump in really quick too, because I mean, like the fact of the matter is that the Eagles won Super Bowl with Doug Peterson, and the flip coin, Andy Reid also won Super Bowl with, you know, like, so I mean, like both parties worked out, and I totally agree with what you just said. I think it's one of those situations that also needed that change of scenery. I think it worked out for the best for both parties. So I mean, I'm happy for Andy Reid, and I'm happy for the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at that time, I think the change of scenery was necessary, and I think everyone can agree. And then it's one of those situations where like a divorce worked out better for both sides. So I mean, Andy Reid's a great coach, and the Eagles had a great team. So potentially, yeah, I feel like they could have won that, you know, championship again if they were to kept the coaching staff intact. But the fact of the matter is, it worked out better for you know, at the end of the day. So
yeah, exactly. Andy Reid is GOAT, says Jalen Hurts me. Andy Reid found himself in a phenomenal situation. Andy Reid found himself in a phenomenal situation where he paired well with GM John Dorsey, and they rebuilt and they built a team that was absolutely phenomenal. So what did I just see? I just saw someone say, "Oh, big play Slay." Big play slate. Here we go. Andy Reid doesn't match well with Howie Roseman. I do not blame him. Yet there's a preface with this. How good would the team have been if Reid was there? Yeah, exactly. They didn't. I don't think that they got along. I don't think anybody gets along with Howie Roseman. And I will rant about that, but I kind of don't want to. I might blow a blood vessel today, guys. Just kidding. But yeah, no. If Reid was here in Philadelphia, I will tell you this. I will tell you this. I don't think Carson would have been as bad as he was. I don't think the drop off from 2017 to 2018, even though it wasn't that big of a drop off, like, guys, if you really want to go back and look at it, it honestly was the offense as a whole around Carson. But I don't think that we would have seen that big of a drop off from 2017 to 2018, 2019 with Andy Reid as our head coach, coaching Carson Wentz. And that offensive line, I just don't like. That's what I will say. But with the team, I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know how they would have done with Jalen Reagor. I'll tell you this. I bet you we wouldn't have an inconsistency at wide receivers coach. I bet you this wouldn't have been the first year in like 6 years where we're finally retaining the same wide receivers coach in Aaron Moorhead. Like, that's ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, the inconsistency all across the board for the last 5 years has been absolutely fucking out of this world. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I'm excited about Nick Sirianni. I'm excited about Jonathan Gannon. I'm excited about Jamal Singleton. I'm excited about this entire coaching staff. I'm excited about what Joe Flacco is going to bring to this Philadelphia Eagles organization, because I really do truly believe he is going to bring, like, some knowledge to that quarterback room and some knowledge to the coaching staff too. I mean, he's got some years.
Yeah, kind of like what I was saying. Like, the backup quarterbacks, that role is a lot more crucial than just sitting on the sideline waiting for a starter to get hurt or anything like that. Backup quarterback does a lot. Like they hold that clipboard, but that's what they do. If you have a cerebral guy like that, Joe Flacco's played for those successful Ravens team and he's won before. So like bringing a guy like that who can really stand in the sideline, whether it's Jalen Hurts or Trey Lance or whoever other quarterbacks that you bring in to start, and really able to like help this young quarterback, not only know how to play the game the right way and deal with the adversity the right way, just having him on the sideline, just, like dissecting the play by play. After they run a series of play, after they punt the ball or something, even if they run a touchdown or something like that, once they return to the sideline, the backup quarterback can really go over the opposing team's defense, their schemes, and all that stuff. I mean, that's a really important role and pivotal role, especially for a team with a young quarterback. So whoever they have running out there as a starter, like Joe Flacco is going to be that guy, kind of like what we were talking about, like Marcus Mariota being that cerebral guy that can do that. Joe Flacco can come and do that with the guy that's been in the league for a long time, that's won. And, like Joe Flacco, like he might not be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he's played at a high level for a long time. So he's going to be really crucial to whoever these next starter is going to be. And I totally agree. He's going to be very exciting for the Eagles. And it might not be on the field, but he's going to have a lot to do with the progression of the quarterback, whoever it is.
I agree. And yeah, just like I was saying yesterday, is like he led the Ravens. He led the Ravens to multiple playoff appearances, man, and got and won that Super Bowl. But Jalen Hurtsme says, DB random question: best bird team in 2021: Eagles, Ravens, Seahawks, Cardinals, or Falcons? Cardinals, easy answer. Hire DB for a head coaching gig. He's amazing. As long as I can bring Patty J as my GM, then I'm good. As long as I can bring Patty J as my GM, I'm good.
Dude, you know me, I'll overanalyze every single move, so it'll take me forever.
As long as you get the guys that I want you to get, like I'm gonna make sure we play it smart. You know what I mean?
I'll just come on this chat and I'll be like, "Yo, big play slay, King Miro, Dak, whoever you picking."
like get me, like just make sure, like if I'm the head coach and you're the GM, just make sure we get Cameron Sutton on this roster.
Yes.
You
Let's do it.
get me Malik Hooker as a backup to learn from Rodney McLeod. I don't know. Maybe that's some good ideas. Oh, maybe Howie Roseman should take a fucking hint. I don't know. While the guy recovers from a fucking torn Achilles. Oh, maybe that's a good idea. Fucking idiot. Anyway, don't get me started on ranting. I already have a fucking headache. Now my Boston accent's starting to come out. I'm not even from Boston. Doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's just your angry accent, man. It just comes out. It happens.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I said the Cardinals. King says if they don't trade Russell, they're going to trade Russell. Big Play Slay says Jalen hurts me. Ravens.
Okay.
Maybe.
Ravens could come back. Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit. Like, they have to. I do worry about Lamar. I know we said it was a fluke, but I do worry about Lamar. He has always kind of been in the 55 to like 60 range as far as completion percentage is concerned. And he hasn't been that guy. They do have to get back to the running. They do have to get back to operating out of the run game and disguising the power run. That's exactly how they got that offense going. Greg Roman did a phenomenal job with that offense, and they need to get back to that. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's that team's gonna go as far as Lamar Jackson takes him. So as long as he can go back to where he was, I mean, like that team's gonna be very successful. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Go ahead and read this one, please.
As long as you trade, I will do my best. I will do my best. That will be my first move. If I ever became a GM, that will be my first move. Even if DK Metcalf is 50 and in his retirement home, I'll call him up for you.
I would trade a first round pick and Jalen Hurts to the Seahawks for DK Metcalf.
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah. If you can pick,
yeah,
Trey Lance at 6, and then trade your future first and Jalen Hurts to go replace Russell Wilson. Yeah, dude, take that.
No. I would trade. No. I would trade 6 and Jalen Hurts to Seattle.
Oh, bro. Then who you running up as a QB, dude? Joe Flacco? No, you can't do that.
No, but here's the thing. I have Brian Johnson who can work with Kyle Trask for a year, right?
Right.
And you can throw Joe Flacco in there for a year. They just did it with Phillip Rivers. For a year. I know Joe Flacco's not Phillip Rivers. Don't get me started on that. But I'm just saying. And then you have Kyle Trask developing. You'll see how he does. And then you got the 2 first rounds next year. Come on.
Bro, here's the thing. I agree with you. I would trade my picks to get DK Metcalf, but I wouldn't trade my 6. And then the thing is, dude, you're so much higher on Trask than I am.
I would trade Delphine's bathwater for DK Metcalf.
You and I agree on most stuff. I feel like Kyle Trask, dude. No, I'm not a big Kyle Trask guy. You know that too.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, I did. I just try to ignore it.
That's funny. She's doing a lot more than bathwater. That's okay. Moving on. Big Play Slay says, dude, Patrick seems like a desperate ass Jets fan who would trade an entire Pro Bowl team, 10 first round picks for Patrick Mahomes because they have the same first name. No, I don't think he would do that.
No, it's okay.
He's in love with Kyler Murray, actually. So.
I honestly like, I'm okay with this stuff because I know he doesn't mean it. So it's all for good fun. So I appreciate it, dude. Jalen hurts me. Best wide receiver in the league. A lot of no offense, dumb answers. Amari Cooper for Dak is king. I see the bias there. Jalen Reagor for Jalen Hurts. Bad answer there. DK Metcalf. Good answer, but maybe. But it has to be Devontae Adams in my opinion so far. So.
Really?
Yeah, Devontae Adams, I guess it's due to a quarterback play, but I think for me it comes down to Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins has to be up there. Stephon Diggs. I think it comes down to those 3 guys right now.
What's the criteria?
As far as what's concerned, best wide receiver?
Yeah.
I think criteria is a best wide receiver. It's like any other position, in my opinion. Like
Randy
if
Moss.
I were no. Active.
Oh, I
I'm
can't.
guessing that's what he's saying.
Rules. I can't change the rules of the game.
You can't do that. At least here's the thing. Here's the thing. No offense to all you guys, but I would take Randy Moss over Amari Cooper and Jalen Reagor, whoever said that.
Jalen hurts me. Yeah, no, Jalen Reagor.
I'm sure he's trolling too, but
well, okay. So let's talk about Jalen Reagor. Why don't we talk about Jalen Reagor?
All right.
Why Jalen Reagor? Why Jalen Reagor? What do you like about Jalen Reagor, Patrick?
I don't. That's a hard for me for that's a hard question for me to answer just because I was not a big fan of Jalen Reagor coming out and especially with the one year of tape there, it's harder for me to like him more. But I mean, does that mean I don't think he has any potential? No, I think he has a chance to become something. I think he has a chance to be a decent receiver in this league, but he's not my favorite guy. I mean, like here's what I like about him. He's a speed guy. You guys all know that he's got a really excellent burst. He's a deep threat that's going to fit into this today's NFL if you really think about it. But honestly, that's all I got for him. That's all my positive for him. He's got ability. He's got speed. He's shifty. But other than that, I mean, let's talk about his negatives. And I mean, tell me if you disagree with me, though.
No, yeah. Let me jump on this. I agree with you. But I will say I disagree with you on this. I don't think he's as fast as people think he is. And I also don't think he goes and gets the ball as much as people give him credit for. Because there were many times where he just stopped going to get the ball when it was perfectly put out in front of him, whether it was Carson Wentz or whether it was Jalen Hurts. The fastest guy that we have on the team, I have not been able to identify it yet between these two players, and it's John Hightower or Quez Watkins, but those are the 2 fastest wide receivers that we have on the team. I've said this many times over. The guy that I'm most excited about from that draft class last year is Quez Watkins. I am not really excited about Jalen Reagor. I will say this, though. He does remind me of Deebo Samuel. The potential reminds me of Deebo Samuel. I wish that we saw a little bit more of that last year. And so if Nick Sirianni is as advertised, then I feel like this is the year where we will see what I was hoping to see last year from Jalen Reagor. If we don't, then we don't. And how he missed on another wide receiver, which I fully expect to happen. Which is why Jamar Chase at 6 would be perfect, or Kadarius Toney at 37 would be perfect. And guys, I am really high on Kadarius Toney or Rashad Bateman, but as Patrick and I pretty much alluded to, is that Rashad Bateman will probably go in the first round. So I'm not really high on Jalen Reagor at all. I'm only high on Quez Watkins, honestly, and Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward. I think it should be Quez Watkins, Travis Fulgham, and Greg Ward. I think those should be our 3 starting wide receivers, to be completely honest with you. And then you got Dallas Goedert and whoever the fuck comes next. And then that's it. I honestly, the other 2 guys should be question marks at this point. So I don't disagree with you.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's what I mean. And I totally agree with you as far as Quez Watkins is concerned. I think he's got a lot more potential. What did he clock in? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he clock in at like 4.3 or something last year?
Yeah, I actually believe he did. Jalen Hurts me was kidding though.
I
had a feeling he was.
Yeah, we all knew, but I mean, like, yeah, Quez Watkins is, I mean, he's a good athlete, dude. He can run past defenders.
Dude, did you see his first catch?
I did. Yeah.
That was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, he's really good at quick in and out cuts. He's really effective in the short to intermediate receiver. He's going to be a good slot guy in my opinion too. He can be used as a jet sweep option if you guys wanted to run that route. But yeah, he's got a lot of athleticism. I think that's his main selling point. And then he's gotten a lot better as far as like a route running is concerned too. So I think he's going to add a lot of value to the team. So I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I know last draft, Toxic Falcon says, I know last draft you all really wanted Lamb. It's hard to say. Dude, because here's the thing. I mean, what did the Falcons, how far up were the Falcons? The Falcons were what, 16? They were 16.
As far as what?
The Cowboys drafted Lamb at 17, right?
Last year, yeah.
Okay, and the Falcons were at 16, and we needed to move to the Falcons spot to get Lamb ahead of the Cowboys. And we were at 21, and they won. And the report was that the Falcons wanted a second-round pick plus our first to move up to the 16. It seems a little steep. That seems a little steep. Look, if the Eagles wanted Lamb, I felt like they would have made the move. I honestly think that the Eagles wanted Judy. That's what I think.
Right. I mean, Judy went at 15 to Broncos. I think so. If Eagles wanted to, they would have had to jump to 14, which, like 49. That was a hard part for the Eagles, in my opinion, because I mean, I'm very familiar with this draft order because I was like obviously paying attention to the Cardinals at 8 and Jets at 11. So from 12, when they took Henry Ruggs off the board, the Raiders. You knew 13 and 14 were going to be really hard to like pry off of these teams because Buccaneers were sold on Tristan Wirfs. They were excited that he dropped all the way to 13 for them. And 49ers were dead set on taking Javon Kinlaw. So I think you would have had to pay like significant amount of price to move up there. And then once Broncos took Jerry Jeudy at 15, the Eagles, I don't know what their interest level was on CeeDee Lamb, but like you said, that price is steep to move up to 16 to, leapfrog Cowboys to take CeeDee Lamb. So maybe like you said, maybe the Eagles weren't sold on Lamb as much as they were on Judy. So I think just the way that draft boards played out, I think, the price to pay to get 16th pick to leapfrog Cowboys was a lot, and I think
that's why Cowboys fans are Cowboys fans.
Dak is king, I'm sure is going to comment, but yeah. So 15 was Judy, 16 was Falcons, and they took AJ Terrell, and then 17 was Lamb. And I think the decision that's going to haunt the Eagles fans for a long time is obviously Rager going a pick before Jefferson. But I mean, that's a whole nother decision. So
Big Play Slay says, dude, Quez Watkins has so much talent. He's dangerously fast. He gets jammed at the line a lot, though. His potential of ceiling is Paul Richardson. Get your popcorn ready, bro. Get your popcorn ready. And Rashad Bateman is a future Pro Bowler, mark my words. I agree with that.
I agree with you. I wasn't here yesterday for that, but I totally agree with Rashad Bateman. And I think that's why he's going to go in first round for sure. He's shooting up the board, so he's going to be the fourth receiver out. And I think I told DB this too before, but Terrace Marshall's going in the first round too.
Yeah, I like Terrace Marshall.
For sure.
Yeah. Fucking 20, man. He's going to ball out. He needs to put on size, though. I feel good about him. I feel like he could be that physical, fast, like wide receiver, like not like terribly like DK Metcalf, but he possesses some of those traits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Toxic Falcons. Jefferson went pick after the Eagles. That's why it's a sore topic for the Eagles fans because Eagles took Jalen Reagor at 20, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And 21. Justin Jefferson went 22 to the Vikings.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yep. It's weird that I like remember draft order for some reason. I can't remember anything else.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm good with it's weird. I can kind of do it with names sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trey Lance. Big Play says Trey Lance is also going to be a future Pro Bowler. I hope so. I hope so because I honestly think he's going to be the pick for the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 6.
I totally agree.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and move on, brother. Let's go ahead and move on. Well, guys, obviously we're gonna go ahead and filter in the comments just as we've been doing. But guys, today, guess what we're doing today? Today we are doing the AFC West. And so let's go ahead and get started. I mentioned that before, but obviously there's more of you guys in here, and I do have popcorn in my mouth, so I'm not chewing on ice, so it is tasty. It's not just frozen water. Sorry, I don't know why I gave you that explanation, but let's go ahead and talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's start off with the Super Bowl losers. Go for it, Patrick.
Those Super Bowl losers, he says. The Chiefs are a talented team. Andy Reid's team's always going to put up a good fight. I mean, yeah, let's start with that. They obviously their team starts and ends with Patrick Mahomes, probably the best quarterback that's out there right now. And he's young, so it's scary what this team is potential to be. It could be a dynasty for a long time as long as they have Patrick Mahomes under center. Their main losses were their tackles. As we all know, it's a very well documented thing that they did release both their starting tackles, Fisher and Schwartz, but they did bolster their interior linemen to help Patrick Mahomes out. So they did get Kyle Long to a 1-year deal. They did sign Joe Thuney to that 5-year deal. So they definitely did bolster that interior lineman, and they're both really strong run blockers, so they're really going to help Clyde Edwards-Helaire in his development too, and he's had a pretty good showing last year. Other moves, they did sign Blake Bell, tight end, but obviously he's going to be a backup with Travis Kelce coming back and everything like that. And then other than that, they're pretty much bringing their old team back here. Chiefs don't have a whole lot of weakness, honestly. If you really look at their roster up and down, they don't have a whole lot of weakness. Obviously, as long as Patrick Mahomes can stay healthy, that offense is going to go through him. And we touched on Clyde, CEH. He's going to be a great running back. They do have a lot of depth behind them. Tight end room, obviously led by Travis Kelce and Blake Bell, is going to be a solid room too. We touched on their offensive linemen, even with the loss of 2 tackles. They did make a run at
Fisher,
yeah, they did make a run at Trent Williams, but they do still have Mike Remmers. They have Martinez Rankin, Lucas Niang. So they got some options there. I'm sure they're going to look into draft for that too. But their strength, like I said, is their interior linemen with those 2 guards that they signed, and also their center, Nick Allegretti. Their defense, obviously, sorry, I didn't even touch the receiving room. That they got a lot of depth.
Hardman and Sammy Watkins is still a free agent.
Sammy Watkins is a free agent, but they believe. I mean, obviously they have Tyreek Hill, but they have they believe a lot in Hardman, Byron Pringle. I know they have a lot of faith in those guys from everything that I've read. So I think they're going with this group. Look for them to scour, the tail end of the free agent market to see if there's any veterans left. But it seems like, with T.Y. Hilton coming off the board, a lot of these guys are going to be signed. So we'll see if they explore some more veteran receiver with the, cuts and roster cut down day comes a little bit later on in the year. Their defensive room looks really strong. Defensive tackles led by Chris Jones, Derek Nottie. Defensive ends, obviously Frank Clark, Mike Dana, Taco Charlton, they just re-signed. So they got a tremendous amount of talent there on the line. Their linebackers, obviously, the Hitchens, Will Gay Jr., Ben Neiman, these names can go on. So, yeah, their secondary strong. I'm not going to name everybody, but like Ward, Snead, Baker, Teron Matthew, obviously leading that team, Juan Thornhill. So they're, like I said, I just ran down the kind of basics of their team, and they're pretty much bringing every guy back, besides some changes in their linemen. But you don't see a whole lot of weakness here. You honestly don't. And then this team is more than capable of making the Super Bowl, which is Patrick Mahomes alone. But their team is overall talented. They didn't do a whole lot of makeshift, but they're going to be obviously favorites to win the AFC again. So that's my take on it. Yeah.
Hopefully. I mean, look, losing the Super Bowl is a real thing. Hopefully they can handle the mentality of it. But no, my opinion is this is, look, we saw the Patriots do it. They won in, I think it was 2000. No, they won in 2001, lost in 2002, came back and won in 2003 and 2004. And that was the cherry on top of their dynasty. So, I mean, if they can do it, they could, if the Patriots could do it, it looks like the Chiefs are actually more so on that road than having a mental breakdown like the Philadelphia Eagles did, like the Atlanta Falcons did, like other teams.
Right, and I think kind of going back to the Andy Reid thing, I think Andy Reid's gonna always keep that team, as long as he has control over it. I think he's gonna keep that team ready to go. So I have a lot more faith in the Chiefs and the previous teams that you mentioned.
Hopefully,
Hopefully. Oh,
hopefully, Andy Reid. Last time he lost the Super Bowl was in 2004.
oh yeah, but it's a different situation in my opinion.
How?
I just think it's
I'm just
different.
kidding.
I
I'm
just
just
think it's
kidding. I'm just
different.
kidding. Stop. Donovan, don't get me started on Donovan again.
Yeah.
And T.O. was the worst, like when it came to selfishness of all time. So
I forgot T.O. played for you guys for a little bit.
that's how we got to Super Bowl.
I know, I totally forgot. For some reason, every time I think about T.O., I just think about the Niners and the Cowboys.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Chargers. They lost some offensive linemen as well. Obviously Justin Herbert going into his second year as a professional in the league and did some great things, but they did lose their offensive coordinator. Obviously, Shane Steichen is going to be the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, but they feel good about the guy who's taking over for them. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but tell me a little bit what you feel about that team going forward, Patrick.
Yeah. So, obviously, it's going to be Joe Lombardi taking over as offensive coordinator. So, I mean, they do really like him. He spent a lot of time as a Saints quarterback coach. He has a lot of coaching under his belt, so he's going to come in. I mean, hopefully, he can kind of like go from where Sykin left off. But Chargers, I feel like I say this about a lot of teams, and it is the truth of the matter is that, like the teams are going to go as far as their quarterback takes them. The good thing for the Chargers, obviously, is their quarterback, Justin Herbert, kind of took the league by storm last year. He was obviously a fantasy quarterback stud for anybody that plays fantasy football. But he showed a lot of potential. He, like when Herbert came into the league, there were some question marks, but I feel like he answered all that. I feel like he was constantly throwing for 3 to 4 touchdowns each game, and obviously he's got some mobility too. So he's going to be a great building block for the Chargers team going forward. As far as totally. They did lose some offensive linemen like tackles, but I think their main signing also came in the offensive line room. They signed Corey Linsley, who was graded as a top center, obviously all-pro center from the Green Bay Packers, who was a big-time help for the Aaron Rodgers in that line for the Green Bay Packers. He came over, I believe he's the highest-paid center now, 5 years, $62.5 million deal. So he's going to be a huge help for the Chargers coming in, really taking control of that lineman. They did bring in Matt Filer to a multi-year contract to be a tackle on that team too. And then they obviously signed Jared Cook to that 1-year deal to be that tight end to replace Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry, even though he didn't live up to the expectation, he did a lot of little things. He was a good blocker. He can come off the screen really well. He was a good receiver too. So hopefully Jared Cook can really take that next step and be that force for Justin Herbert and his development. Other than that, like Chargers did a lot of re-signing their own guys, obviously like quarterback Michael Davis, kicker. They signed Michael Badley back too. So they're improved. So I think what they're looking to do, like you said, they still need to address their offensive tackle.
They still have a few moves to make on the offensive line. Yeah, I have no faith in Jared Cook whatsoever. So I just don't. Yeah.
I mean, it's a drop off between Hunter Henry down to Jared Cook, but I mean, we'll see. The Chargers believe in him, so the Chargers hold the 13th pick. As every mock draft have them taking a tackle. Unfortunately for them, the 2 top tackle, Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell, are projected to go before them at 13. So I think there's a potential. I mean, for them to take Christian Darrisaw here, a lot of people might say that that's a reach, but I think Darrisaw has been moving up on the board a lot. He's incredibly talented. And then just like a lot of these teams with young quarterbacks, it's always a good idea to have your young quarterback developing with your franchise tackle together. So I think that's going to be a good pick for him. I think that's where to go. But yeah, this Chargers team have a lot of potential. A lot's riding on Justin Herbert. But yeah, I'm excited. Just like I talked about Rodney Hudson's impact on Kyler Murray, that snapper being really important to the quarterback and being cerebral guy having under center. I think Corey Linsley is going to do a huge part in Herbert's development too. So
yeah, I agree. And I think, and I hope that, I hope that they do the right thing and just surround him with the right foundation. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's my first thought. Obviously, of course, it's my first thought because I'm an Eagles fan. Just to take a quick break here. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles live with Patrick J. We're doing the AFC West today. And we're talking about the Chargers, the Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chiefs. Right now, we just topped off talking about the Chargers, and in a second, we will be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders. But just real quick, Big Play Slay says, fun fact, when I found this channel, it was on Trey Lance's pro day. Really? That's because Trey Lance and I are buds. He's coming to the Eagles. I'm not fucking around.
I'm not either. I'm betting on it. I'm betting on that Eagles are taking quarterback at 6.
That's weird. That's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why. Big Play Slay that you found the channel on Trey Lance's pro day. I don't even think I had any tags or anything like that for his pro day. That's strange, but kind of cool. And I'm glad that you found it. I'm glad. I know Patrick J is absolutely enamored with the fact that you found this.
Hey, Big Play Slay is my guy. Yeah,
you guys have a bromance.
My guy.
We've talked about it.
Hey man, whatever you want to call it, my guy.
It wasn't me who called it that. I think it was Jalen Hurts me who called it that. Honestly, nah, we need Pitts or Chase, says King Miro. Yeah, I know what we need, King.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard what we said, King Miro. It's not that we necessarily want them to take quarterback. It's just our gut feeling. Our gut feeling just says that Eagles, I feel like, are going to take quarterback at 6.
Yeah. Agreed. And just to top off that is it just seems that's the way that they're going. That's just the vibe. The vibe of the situation. King Miro says, or Dak is King says, DB and Patrick, rank your top draft QBs of this year.
Of last year, is it last year because we're talking about Justin Herbert, or this year?
This year or last year or the year before or of all time? Let us know. If it's this year, that's an easy answer.
I mean, if it's this year, I probably taking out Trevor Lawrence. I personally like Trey Lance better than Zach Wilson. So for me, it's Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, then a huge drop off to Justin Fields, then Mac Jones, and then like 10,000 drop offs to Kyle Trask because I'm not a big fan of him, but I know DB is. So
no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You like him more than I do.
I like him because of one. I like to talk about Kyle Trask because one of our loyal subscribers, AJ Styles, likes the Florida Gators and likes Kyle Trask. And 2, he has a connection to Brian Johnson, who has a connection to Kyle Pitts, who has a connection to Kadarius Toney. And the Florida Gators offense this past season was freaking phenomenal, dude. And so there's that. But like I've said in the past, like I wouldn't take Kyle Trask until the 3rd round, and I said the same thing about Mac Jones, but I do want to say this. I would say obviously Trevor Lawrence, but like Patrick J said, if we're leaving out Trevor Lawrence, it would be Zach Wilson, it would be Trey Lance, and then it would be Justin Fields, and then Mac Jones, and then yeah, Kyle Trask.
Yeah, yeah.
Which actually,
I
for
think
some reason, Mac Jones is growing on me, and that's weird and
yeah.
ironic.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Mac Jones. I think that three quarterbacks. I think you and I agree. I think Lawrence, Wilson, and Lance have Pro Bowl potential. And then I think there's a little bit of drop off from there. But I think it's yeah, I think it's pretty similar as far as what you and I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, just to answer, if it is last year that you were talking about, then it's I obviously I like Joe Burrow more than Herbert still, and I would have to put Justin Herbert, but I am pretty high on Tua too, so it'll be Burrow, Herbert, Tua, and then we'll see how I feel about Jordan Love later on. That's still I'm still thinking about that pick. And then I'm sure this question was asked about last year. If you guys are asking, probably because of Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts probably comes in number 4 for me right now. You know, behind Burrow, Herbert, and Tua, but I like him better than Jordan Love.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Dak is king said this year, and then Jalen Hurts.
Okay, gotcha.
Jalen Hurts me though wants to know, just like you asked me, or just like they asked me yesterday, who are your top 5 QBs after Ben, Brady, and Rodgers retire?
Retire. I did see that. So I saw yesterday that you took Trevor Lawrence out and then all the quarterbacks coming in this year. So I will do the same thing because I feel like it's unfair to rank those guys. Yeah. So top 5 in no particular order. Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, I think Josh Allen continues being Josh Allen. Kyler Murray. And then it's hard because I want to say Deshaun Watson, but I heard what you said, and I forgot who it was, but they put it really well. It's either going to be this whole thing, this whole situation is going to be either a really great thing, catching like one of the worst sexual predators, I guess, or it's like really one of the largest. I think they said defamation, right? Because it really is like tainting someone's name. Yeah, it's one way or the other. It sucks. It sucks. And then like it's the magnitude of this is ridiculous. So I mean, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that? We can talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah,
Because I was listening to Adam Kaplan and Jeff Mosher talk about it on Inside the Birds.
Yeah.
And it was exactly that. I mean, it's not like it's not being talked about. It's like these two lawyers have history and have had it out for each other. One, and secondly, like, and this isn't. And guys, I'll say it again, just to preface. I'm not taking anything away from the women who are coming out and saying these things. I wasn't raised that way, and would never, ever cheapen a situation like that. Either way, whatever the result is, it's absolutely horrible. But it is a little odd. It's a little odd that it is just a civil suit because these are criminal acts, like I said yesterday. And it's the timing is weird, but I don't really put too much sense into that. But the whole thing, I mean, they just continue to pile up. And as far as we were ever concerned, like Deshaun didn't have an ounce of spilled milk on his name. You know what I mean? So just go ahead and talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said this before too. I tread this really lightly, and it's not just when I'm on like hot mic or anything like that. I am this way about this kind of situation. Just with friends and stuff, like I talk to you off air, but even then I'm really careful talking about this because it deals with such a serious topic. If it indeed happened, and then to anytime this kind of thing happens, I mean it sucks, and I hope the situation never comes about. I know this is a real issue that we have in today's world, and if this is indeed what's happening, I hope they get justice for that, and they are obviously. It's hard to, you're never going to forget that, but I hope they can kind of recover and cure from that a little bit. but on the flip side of things, if it's if this is just a defamation thing, if the lawyer and all these people are just kind of ganging up together to not only like taint someone's name, but to financially benefit from the situation. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible situation to be in. Not only is it ruining someone's career, but as a guy that's in a spotlight, in a limelight, it's hurting him a lot more than that too. That's why I'm a little bit more careful, because I don't know the truth behind it. And then the fact of the matter is, it sucks. It's either way, it's a pretty big deal. You're gonna either catch someone that's been doing something wrong for so long, that's been hurting a lot of people, and if that's the case, it hurts a lot of the
He might
football
never
fans. It
play
hurts
again, bro.
exactly. It hurts a lot of football fans.
Yeah.
In a selfish way, that we don't get to see a player of Deshaun Watson's caliber going to play again. It hurts the Texans organization. It hurts the NFL as a whole to lose their young star. It hurts Deshaun's friends and family.
No, I don't really care about that.
Yeah, I'm just talking. I'm just going about
No, I know.
surface level stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
and it hurts. And regardless, it hurts, and it already hurt all the people that were affected by it. And it's the same thing on the flip side. If this is just one of those defamation thing, it's going to be one of those. It's cruel. It's a cruel thing to do. So. Yeah, it's hard for me to say. It's hard for me to. I tread this water really lightly, because it's one of those topics that's really hard to talk about, because you just don't know. Honestly, you just don't know.
For sure. I agree with you completely.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. To wrap it up, I think those three guys: Patrick Mahomes. Sorry, we got off topic. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, and then I'll go with 5 years. Probably, I think Russell Wilson's still going to be playing at a high level. And I like to say, Justin Herbert. Done.
Justin Herbert.
Yep. I pick him over Joe Burrow and over Lamar Jackson.
Oh, okay. All
right. What we got?
See, Patrick has never liked Carson Wentz, guys. I just want to throw that out there.
Here, man. It's right
never
now.
liked Carson Wentz.
No.
I know him so well. He's never liked Carson. But we can.
That is a lie.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie. It is.
I will tell you the truth.
Absolutely, 100% factual.
I will tell you the truth. I did like Jared Goff more than Carson Wentz.
I know you did.
Yeah,
but you said otherwise.
And I will own up to it.
Switch on on multiple occasions.
Yeah. I own up to that. I like Jared Goff coming out of the draft more than Carson Wentz. But it's not that I didn't have him in a high regard. I was rooting for him, honestly, this past couple of years, and and you know that I wanted the Eagles to keep him. I think he would have been a good quarterback for years to come for the Eagles. And I'll be honest with you, I think he's gonna have a Pro Bowl caliber season for the Colts. I really think so.
Yeah, I just me personally, I knew I knew and saw what he was capable of doing in 17, 18, and 19. So it wasn't just. That's the one thing people don't understand is it just wasn't 1 year. Anyway.
Yeah. I think people get like have misconception because he got hurt a couple of years, but yeah, he's going to be phenomenal for the Colts.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, Raiders. Go ahead and kick it off, bud.
Raiders. So Raiders are running it back with Mr. Carr. We'll see. I'm not sold on Derek Carr, but as long as he can be a decent game manager, I feel like they can be a pretty good team. Raiders are one of those confusing teams, man. I feel like if you look at them on the surface level, I feel like they got a lot better. But if you look at their team, though, I feel like they lost a lot of guys. And there's a lot of holes, too. So here, I'll just run it down. They signed Nick Martin to be their center, but then they traded probably one of the best centers and one of the best leaders in today's game in Rodney Hudson. They did get a third round pick instead of just releasing him, so that's good. But that's a very puzzling move in my opinion,
Right.
to let Rodney Hudson go and replace him with Nick Martin. There are talks that Hudson wanted to leave too, but it's a confusing situation. Situation number two that was puzzling for me is they signed Kenyon Drake to a 2-year deal worth up to $14.5 million. That's a lot of money to allocate to a running back. That's when you have Josh Jacobs already. So that they're paying a lot of money to two running backs that's going to share the ball together. Kenyon Drake said that he was going to be playing a lot more. They're going to play a lot more two running back schemes, or he's going to be even like line up at receivers too. And Kenyon Drake is a talented receiver, but I think that's a lot of money to be spending in that position. Let's see. They did sign Yannick Ngakwe, which is a good deal, 2-year, $26 million, and they did sign some decent guys. I'm not sold on John Brown, but they did sign John Brown, so I mean that's adding some
Yeah,
speed, even though he lost some.
how
Right,
I feel
right.
about John Brown. Like I haven't been sold on him since I wanted him after the Cardinal when the Cardinals had him. Like I was jealous.
Exactly.
I was jealous of the
Exactly.
Cardinals. Yeah, I was jealous of the Cardinals when they had him. So
Yeah. So that's my thing with the Raiders. It's like on paper they seem like they signed a lot of guys. They signed. I mean, when you hear names like Kenyon Drake, yeah, he's a good running back. Not great, but he's good.
yeah,
Nick Martin's a decent center. Yannick Ngakwe is a good edge rusher. And you kind of go down that way, and you're like, and John Brown's a decent wide receiver, so you think they made some good moves. But if you really look at their team as a whole, like you see a lot of holes in it still. Like Derek Carr is a question mark. Marcus Mariota took a pay cut to stay with the Raiders, so that's good to have that consistency. But like I said, they're going with a 2 running back system in Josh Jacobs and Kenyon Drake. The problem with me with allocating that much money to their running backs is that there's a lot of question marks on their receiving side of it. Their top 3 receivers right now is Henry Ruggs, John Brown, and Hunter Renfrow, and none of them's really proven that they can be the top guy. You know what I mean? So
I
instead of
Hunter, I like Hunter Renfrow. I think he's got a lot of potential, though.
I do too, but I feel like they could have spent that money. That running back money they gave to Kenyon Drake to sign. See, that's the same money annually that they could have signed, maybe not the top of the line guys, but they could have signed like T.Y. Hilton, A.J. Green, you know what I mean? So I would have rather allocated that money to get second receiver
They
rather than
could
John
have,
Brown.
they could have, but I mean, we'll have to see what that offense looks like though with that dynamic duo in the backfield. Like,
right,
I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it on air and off air. I mean, Brandon Jacobs, is more of the Josh Jacobs, sorry, Brandon Jacobs. See, Josh Jacobs, yeah, he's more of a hammer, obviously, but does have the elusive ability if he wants to. But Kenyon Drake is more of the running back, or is more of the elusive receiving threat out of the backfield, so they'll be able to do different things. So that kind of explains, why you would allocate so much money into one position like that. And so maybe they're trying to find versatility in that instead of paying heavily for a veteran wide receiver. Maybe they're looking to go that way in the draft, Patty.
Maybe it's just it's I just can't get over it. I was like, we talked about it. Like there were teams that I was like head scratching moves, but that's one thing for sure. So Raiders do pick 17. So in the second half of the draft here, so it's going to totally depend on who's left. I think I actually see them as a good spot for any of the tackles that's left over. So if Darisaw makes it through, that'd be a good pick for them. I honestly have Rashad Bateman possibly going to the Raiders here too. Tevin Jenkins, another tackle. So I think mostly I have them as a lineman. I mean, now that I have this here, I'm going to kind of just share it with you because this is kind of crazy what I have. So I did my mock draft yesterday again, just to kind of talk about it with friends here. But I have Kyle Pitts going to the Dolphins at 3, and Dolphins pick again at 18, and I have him taking Rashad Bateman. Imagine that offense, dude.
It's gonna be insane.
Yeah. And
Yeah, here,
that's
let me
totally
answer
a
this question.
possible
Let me
scenario.
let me
Yeah.
let me get to this question real quick, and then we can
Yeah.
hit that up because I actually want to see that.
Yeah.
Two running backs, question mark, says Jalen Hurts. Me, that's old school NFL. Not really. Not really. I understand where you're coming from. Not really. Running it out of the backfield with two running backs like a two-headed monster, that's old school NFL. But when you're talking about formation like 21 or something like that, like that's not really. Like having two guys like line up to both sides of the quarterback. When you're talking about like wing flex or something like that, running routes or running out in the flat, having both running backs running out in the flat, that's not really old school NFL. The Falcons were notorious for that. In 2016 when they took that offense to the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots. And we're probably going to see a little bit of that in Nick Sirianni's offense. Also, Frank Reich. There's a reason why they converted Nyheim Hines from wide receiver to running back. It is so they could have Nyheim Hines be a running back in some formations, like operate out of the running back position in some formations. So there are some things to do when you have two different running backs on the field, especially when you have a guy like Josh Jacobs and a guy like Kenyon Drake. They're so different that you can disguise different concepts and different formations. And so the difference is not old school. If they were similar, like if you had a Brandon Jacobs and you had an Ahmad Bradshaw, like that's a little bit different. Ahmad Bradshaw is not the same as Brandon Jacobs, and you guys get where I'm going with that because that three-headed monster was absolutely ridiculous. Like that's a little bit different. That was old school. That was old school. But if the Jets decide to sign James Conner and then draft Travis Etienne, like I wouldn't consider that old school. I would consider that smart offseason moves by the New York Jets. You use him as a third down back, like what we did in 2017 with LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi. Would you call that old school? And Corey Clement, what we did in 2017, is that old school? I mean, sorry, I went a little too into it. Jalen. I know. I feel you. I honestly was running through that in my head, and let's just keep going.
I think the Raiders' thought process is, like what DB was saying, is to have like two backs of different skill sets. I mean, Browns kind of did it. They had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Obviously, I think even the Jets tried it out with Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore last season. So a lot of teams try it, but and then honestly, the thing is the halfback position is such a delicate position. So if you look at the teams with running backs, let's go through them just real quick, just as an example. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Nick Chubb got hurt, so what would they have done without Kareem Hunt, right? CMC got hurt. Panthers, where would they be if they didn't have Mike Davis? We can kind of go on and on about this kind of thing. Like when Melvin Gordon got hurt, what would the Broncos do without Philip Lindsay? So it is important to have the secondary back, especially with different skill sets.
But I don't even think it's just that though, Patty. I think it's having I honestly, I think teams want third down backs. And I think third down backs give you a different skill set. And obviously Philip Lindsay is a third down back. Like not every back can be an every down back, and every down back is a Saquon Barkley where he can do everything.
Right.
Zeke was that, but the wheels got knocked off Zeke because the Cowboys are dumb and they give 400 carries to their running back every single year. Right. Not, of course, not that much, but you know what I'm saying. Philip Lindsay on the wheels and the screens and what the Chargers used to do with Darren Sproles and what the Saints did with Darren Sproles. Like the Chargers had Michael Turner and Darren Sproles. Now that was old school. That was back in 2006 or what have you. But that was actually new school for the time. You know what I mean? so I think at the end of the day, like third down backs are more like a Miles Sanders, honestly.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I
I agree with all you're saying is I really do. It's
yeah,
just like for the Raiders, that's just a thing that's like confusing to me, and I think most of their fan base is confused about is just that, you know, like Kenyon Drake is they're not doing that to they're honestly bringing him in as a pass catcher. That was their explanation, you know. But the thing with Drake is that he's not he doesn't grade out really well as a receiving running back. So I think just what I think is that they allocated their money to this guy to play a certain role, like you said, that's different skill sets than what Josh Jacobs brings, but he's not necessarily the back to do that. You know what I mean? I think there's like a misconception that he's a good receiving back, but I think they're bringing him into a wrong role, in my opinion. And I
well,
think the money that they spent on him is a little bit much when they could have used that money to allocate it to different position, you know. But as far as like your explanation is concerned, yeah, I agree with you. It's not
well,
old
that's
school.
why. Well, yeah, no, and
Yeah,
that's why we talk
yeah,
about this. But that could be that could be a number of things. That could be bad
right,
scouting. And
right.
I know they have Mike Mayock, but I mean, guys, uh,
It's John Gruden's team.
it's John Gruden's
Yeah.
team, and he is old school. Um, so there's that. Uh, but that's fine. Yeah, I mean,
No,
they're
I
still
agree
not
with
they're still not doing as well as they
you.
think they're still not doing as
Yeah.
well as he thought that they were going to be doing. So
Yeah.
there's that too.
Yeah. Hot take. They're not going to be good.
They're not going to be good. Hot
Yeah.
take. At the end of the day, they're not going to be good. Let's go ahead and move on. And talk about the Broncos. Are you ready to talk about
Yeah. My
the
bad. I thought my mic was on.
Oh,
Yeah.
John
Broncos. I'm going to
Gruden?
keep it. Broncos. I'm going to keep it really brief.
Well,
Uh,
let's start off with their most recent signing, which was a
yeah.
good signing. They signed Kyle
Very
Fuller.
good. Yep. That's a steal. So Kyle Fuller is a great signing that's going to only help their secondary. They also signed Ronald Darby, so they got a really good secondary cornerback tandem right there. They Justin Simmons also got a franchise tag, so and they signed Kareem Jackson, so their secondary was bolstered this offseason. So good for them for doing so. And then other than that, they re-signed Shelby Harris and they signed running back Mike Boone to a 2-year contract. So other than that, they've been fairly quiet. As you guys know, like, and then the Broncos honestly are one of those teams that do need their quarterback situations handled too. They're a little bit more in a peculiar position. So like all these other teams, there's more of a direct path to adding that quarterback, but Broncos sitting at 9. That's really hard for them to pick like your franchise quarterback. I mean, there is a chance that Justin Fields dropped to them at 9, but I feel like realistically, you're looking more at, you know, like Mac Jones type of guy, and then that's a reach at number 9, you know, and then they're kind of running out of option as far as like, you know, like free agency or trades are concerned, unless they're going to go out there and get Russell Wilson or anybody like that. So more than likely, I feel like they're going to run it back with Drew Lock. I you know, with all due respect to Drew Lock, I don't see a whole lot of future in the NFL for Drew Lock as a starting quarterback. But you know, like they did, like we talked about, they did lose Philip Lindsay too. So it just totally depends on Melvin Gordon's health and his ability to produce again. That offense. Has a lot of question mark, you know, like at this point, Jerry Judy's also a question mark. Noah Fant, we thought was going to come in and be impact tight end right away. Yeah,
He was going to be
yeah,
great.
exactly. We all thought that, and then you know he's also a question mark, unfortunately, at this point. So that whole team, that whole offensive side of the team is just a bunch of question marks, unfortunately. So with that being said, their defense is going to be their strong point. They have Bradley Chubb coming back. They have Von Miller coming back. Like I said, we already talked about their secondary, so they have really strong defense. That's their going to be bread and butter, is basically their defense. But offensively, it's hard. It's hard to really protect them, just because, like I said, there's just so much question mark, and that quarterback position has to be addressed. But
They
out of
need to get that addressed.
yeah, exactly. But out of all the teams, including the Panthers at 8, the Broncos have the hardest path to attain that quarterback. I feel like Panthers have more assets to make a trade to move up to get that quarterback, and especially if the team like the Eagles or the Falcons are looking to draft a quarterback in their respective positions, and it makes it that much harder for the Broncos at 9 with their lack of assets to trade up and get a quarterback. So,
right.
Yeah.
But if the Panthers, I guess if one of these teams want to move up to 6 and draft the quarterback, I mean, what a treasure trove that would be for the Philadelphia Eagles.
And I think there is an opportunity for that. I
do too.
Yeah.
And I think it's something worth thinking about because
Sure.
it is honestly that 6th pick is going to be very, very valuable, very, very valuable. And it should definitely be something that they consider. If the guy that they like, if it's going to be a quarterback and the guy that they like is off the board, I would definitely think heavily about that.
Sure. Yeah.
But with that said, that is the AFC West that we just went ahead and wrapped up. And guys, I appreciate you guys joining today. Is there anything else that you want to touch on real quick right before I wrap this up, Patrick?
No, I appreciate everybody coming in. I know we were about to wrap up with these I forgot what you call it, these division series, but it's been fun talking about this, and then we do have more stuff coming up as far as looking into draft and where each team's at after free agency. So keep tuned in. I appreciate all the conversation. So
absolutely. Dacus King says, "Don't go.
We'll be back."
I wish I couldn't go, dude, but I gotta go eat, my man. I gotta go start cooking dinner. So does Patrick. We're not aliens. We do have to eat. It's a factual thing. Facts. Bet.
Bet.
Oh man. But
we'll be back. King Miro, yes, tomorrow, and Jalen Hurts me. We'll miss you too until tomorrow.
I miss you guys as well. I appreciate all of you guys for joining in and talking in the chat. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal today. Thank you so much. I will see you guys and talk to you guys tomorrow. You guys have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday evening. Please stay safe and please stay healthy. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles, live with Patrick J. Stay safe, stay healthy, one love, and go Birds, baby.